Hi, Pat Hutton here, and I'm excited to share with you a brand new product that's going to reduce your HVAC air conditioning costs by a minimum of 15% or more. And that has been tested, independently proven for both residential and commercial applications. Now, before I show how easy it is to install on the 24-volt side of your HVAC system at the air handler, I want to explain a little bit about what the chip does and how it works. Most people don't realize, but when a compressor shuts off, most fans across America will continue to bring in cool air for about 90 seconds. Well, our engineers found out there's still a lot of wasted energy that just drains out of the system. So this smart chip, known as an efficient fan controller, all it does is read how long a compressor runs and then continues the fan to keep running, to keep extracting the cold air into the building that normally would drain out and be wasted. Now, a simple test to prove that this works is when you are at home, have the air conditioner run for 15-20 minutes. At the end of that time, raise up the temperature, and when the thermostat hits the temperature, it's going to shut off the compressor. Now, most of the time, that compressor will turn off, but the fan will stay on for a maximum of 90 seconds. After the fan shuts off, after that 90-second period, I want you to reach up and take the auto switch to on switch on the fan, and that fan then will turn back on. Put your hand up by any air vent, and you're going to feel this cold air still coming in. That's the wasted energy that you normally would not be able to save, that it drains out of your system. Well, the good news is, the longer your house stays cool, the less cycles that your air conditioner is going to kick on and kick off. And in residential and commercial applications, the #1 draw in most of those businesses is the compressor from the air conditioning unit. Now, I'm excited to share with you the brand new version that has come out that is not only going to save you more energy, but it's also going to work in southern states like Florida, where I come from. In the South, the problem is not that the fan can't continue to blow cool air in the building. From 9 in the morning to 5 at night, about 7 to 9 months out of the year, the compressors never turn off because we're in the 90+ degree range. And you walk into a restaurant that keeps it normally at 74 degrees, the compressors can never reach that number, thus the compressor never shuts off. Well, now with our new improved smart chip, it will read the compressor, how long it runs, and at the end of 25 minutes, if that compressor is still running, it will mandatorily shut off the compressor, and for 4.5 minutes keep bringing in that cold air that is around the evaporator coil, and then the compressor will kick back on. Again, 25 minutes, it shuts off again. So within a 60-minute period, we are going to stop the compressor from running 9 minutes. That's 15% energy savings alone on your compressor. In commercial applications where they have 3-4 air conditioning units, like in a restaurant, that means 1 hour of air conditioning time every single hour during the day. It will not be using energy. Now, let me show you how easy it is to install the smart chip to your air handler. Again, it's on the 24-volt side of your air conditioning unit. You'll notice here we made a mock simulation of what an air handler installation is and what your standard thermostat is. Okay, I'm going to show you where 90+% of all installations occur, and that's at the 24-volt side of your air handler. You remove the cover, and 90% of the time your air handlers are going to have a terminal block. It's going to say W for white wire. You could see coming from the thermostat, there's a white wire going to that white terminal block. White is for a furnace. RC and RH for the cold and the heat. You got a red wire coming from your thermostat to one of these two terminals. You have a green wire coming into the green for G, and that's your fan wire. And yellow you have coming in for your compressor, and then brown going to your ground. 90+% of the time, your thermostats are all going to be labeled this way, and all of the color code wires are all the same. No matter what Carrier, York, Train, no matter who you have, this is a standard wiring diagram for all 24-volt side thermostats that are put into it. Now we're going to show you how simple it is to install the chip in between the thermostat and the air handler. Okay, what we've done here is put up a mock setup of what a thermostat to an air handler would look like. Now, commercially, it could be up on the roof, the air handler. Residentially, it could be in the attic. But the setup is always the same. There's always a 24-volt wire that will go exactly to the air handler. Now, you remove the air handler cover, and you're going to find over 90% of the time, there's what is called a terminal block. And these terminal blocks are labeled W for white, RC for cold, RH for heat, G for the fan, yellow for the compressor, and C for the common. Now we're going to show you how simple it is to install the smart chip between the thermostat and the terminal block. It's color coded. White goes to white, red goes to one of the terminals on red. Green now, here's where the change comes out. We take the green wire from the thermostat out and we hook it to the gray wire of our smart chip because we want the signal to come from the thermostat through the gray wire into the green wire, and we hook our green wire from the chip to where the terminal was. Now, same thing with the yellow. The yellow wire is taken out and it's hooked up to the yellow wire of our chip because, again, we want the signal going to the compressor for the air conditioning, and we take the purple wire and put it where the yellow wire was. Why? Because if the compressor runs more than 25 minutes, it will automatically send a signal for that compressor to shut off. And then the brown wire naturally goes to the common. It's that simple. It's a 5 to 10 minute hookup. Again, let me repeat it fairly quickly. White goes to white, red goes to red, green is disconnected and is wired up together with the gray wire of the chip. The green wire then from the chip is put to the green terminal where the green wire from the thermostat was. We take off the yellow wire from the thermostat. We put the yellow wire with the yellow wire of the chip, and we take the purple wire and put it where the yellow wire was, and the brown wire to the common. That sets it up 90% of the time. Most of your installs are that way. The only other type of terminal block you might see is where the wires also are coming down to the terminal block. Doesn't change any of the wiring setup at all. All right, another way that you have to wire the chip in the south primarily, where we don't have furnaces because it doesn't get very cold, we have what is called heat pumps. So the standard white wire that is for the furnace, there are no furnaces, all you would do is hook the wiring the same as the other diagram, but you would take the white wire out and hook it to the common wire where the brown wire went. That's the only change if you have a heat pump. Take the white wire and move it over to the common if there's a heat pump. Now, how do you know if there's a heat pump? Normally there's an orange wire that will come from your thermostat and be hooked up to a terminal block that says OB, and if it is, that tells you to take the white wire from our chip and move it over to the common. Okay, now we're going to show you how to hook it up to a system that doesn't have a terminal block. Now, these are older systems, but the wiring diagram works the same. Now, you take the smart chip, and I want to show you that out of the air handler, there's usually wire nuts that connect to all of the wires that go to a thermostat. No difference. White will go to white, so now you'll have 3 wires on the wire nut. Red goes to red, so you have 3 wires on the red wire nut. The brown common goes to common, no difference. Where the difference is going to come in is the green wire, because if you remember, the green wire coming from the air handler is where our green wire of our chip is attached to with a wire nut. And then our gray wire that we have goes to the green wire that goes to the thermostat. And the only other change is the yellow wire. If you remember, we have the yellow wire, and with the yellow wire, the purple wire goes to the air handler, and the yellow wire goes to the yellow wire that goes down to the thermostat. The green fan wire you take apart. You take our green fan wire and connect it to the air handler green fan, and take our gray wire and connect it to the green wire that again goes down to the thermostat. You're not going to run into too many of these type of older units, but if you do, the wiring diagram is the same. Red to red, white to white. Yellow is connected to the yellow wire of the chip. The yellow wire that's going to the air handler is connected to the purple wire. The green wire is disconnected. The green wire from the chip is going to the green wire to the air handler, and the gray wire is connected to the green wire that goes down to the thermostat. That's simple. Takes you about 5 to 10 minutes to install.